anda para allá, bro.
We're just waiting for Grant to come down and make announcements, so we'll be a few minutes late. And we did send somebody to find a hotel employee to bring more cups.
Oh, there's water.
It's good. We're good.
Okay, welcome everyone. This is round 4 of the NC Open. The next round is tomorrow at 10:30. If you have a cell phone or any other electronics, please make sure they're turned off and away. They cannot be in your pocket while you're playing. There is a Blitz tournament tonight, free entry. You need to sign up at the registration desk by 9:15, and that will start at 9:30 if you would like to play. It is optional, but no cost to players. Other than that, good luck. Please start White's clock.
Wow, a free Blitz tournament. But here we go. We've got the handshake, and the players are off to the races here. We've got Moonzs, who just won round 3, her first win of the tournament. And now back with the black pieces here, and we have a D4 opening from White. And she comes out with knight to f6. This is what I like to play against d4. I don't like playing d5 right away, which could allow for a queen's gambit. Here we have the bishop coming out to f4. This is very typical of the London system. And yeah, Moonzs' opponent here, Grayson, is 858, which is higher rated than the last opponent that I saw her play in round 2. I did not catch round 3, but I do know that she won. So that's good for Moonzs. And now we see d5 opening up for her light square bishop, which might come out. White might play Queen's Gambit. No, they don't. They play instead just c3. And now it's Moonzs who can maybe push c5 if she wants to. Or she might bring out her light square bishop, which typically I don't think you want to do because the queen can come out and apply pressure. So we see just simply e6, which I think is totally reasonable move. And this bishop that didn't get outside the light chain is still providing some protection here to the pawn in case the queen ever does come out to b3. So White just continues on completing this pawn structure here, this pawn formation, and now Moonzs brings out her dark square bishop, challenging that London bishop. Also, shout out to Erud and Cholato. Good to see you both. Thanks for tuning in. Always being there and being supportive. Bishop tucks back to g3. This is pretty common response here. And the idea is that if Moonzs takes this bishop, then White can simply reply taking back with the h-pawn. And this can help open up the h-file for White's rook, which could be sort of a danger for the black king if they decide to castle kingside. So we'll see if Moonzs decides to trade bishops or not. She does not. Instead, we see her bring her knight out to c6. Now, usually you don't see this in these d4, d5 openings because you would prefer this c-pawn to be able to push and to contribute into the center. So with the knight developing out early, we're sort of blockading our c-pawn. But overall, the knights are typically happy on f6 and c6, so nothing terribly wrong with this move. More of a subtlety for sure. What's up, Pizza Racer? Welcome back. Good to see you again. Hello to the world at large. That's right. We've got the world watching here. An international chat, as always, to be expected here at Twitch. And the chess community always being very supportive and welcoming. So you love to see it. This event happening in North Carolina at the Charlotte Chess Center. Okay, White's bringing out their knight. And with Moonzs' last move, b6, that signifies to me that she wants to fianchetto her bishop, perhaps to b7. But there are definitely times where this knight hasn't moved and the bishop comes out to a6. But obviously, since our knight has moved, there's a world where black could push a5 to play bishop a6, and that bishop will be defended by the rook. And the idea is that you're trying to trade off the light square bishop. So white's light square bishop is a very strong piece. And if we're able to get our bishop to a6, and they decide not to trade off, then our bishop will actually be preventing white from castling. So that would be a pretty annoying piece. Now, there are some potential weaknesses on our light squares when we fianchetto our bishop. And the first thing I noticed is that this knight is now only defended by the bishop. So in some cases, white immediately likes to pounce on this pinned knight while the king is still on e8. But for now, we are not seeing that. We see white just developing their knight, connecting their knights, and now Moonzs has a chance here to perhaps castle. Otherwise, maybe bringing the queen out somewhere. I'm not sure what else. Maybe a knight move backwards to open up again for the c-pawn, but honestly, I'm not expecting to see that. Probably just castles here for Moonzs is the next move if I had to guess. Hey, there's Emily. Shout out to Emily. Very good to see Emily here. I wondered where you were yesterday. I was commentating round 2, and you know, I know that this is your neck of the woods. So, where is Emily these days? Why is she not competing or streaming the North Carolina Open? Oh, I need to turn on JoeBot. Okay, so we do see the queen develop up to d7. And we're putting more pieces on this diagonal. But the good news is that there's not major concern for the knight coming into e5 because we can take with our bishop. It looks like white has played queen to e2. Whoa, and Moonzs goes queenside castles here. This is aggressive. This is exciting. This will be for a very nice game. Oh, and white follows suit actually as well. Queenside castles for them too. And with white's pieces on this diagonal, they can immediately look for a light square bishop trade. You'll be back on it soon, Emily. Okay. We will be anticipating big things. But good to hear that you had family in town visiting. It was just Thanksgiving, so I hope you guys had a lovely Thanksgiving dinner. And of course, we know that you're very busy, so no worries, no problems. We'll all be here waiting for when you are ready to return back to the OTB chess action. So, yeah, if only you could still have a pet cam while you were away. Maybe investing in a Dale cam, or maybe the fish cam would be at least something. A 24/7 cam in your home live streamed on Twitch. I mean, am I really asking for that much? Anyways, what's up, Nodule? Another streamer legend tuning in. You'll look into it. Okay, good. Good. I know the world could always do with some more Dale content. So I'm just advocating for what the people want. And honestly, Emily, it could be helpful for you as well. Wait, is that the kid that Emily played back there? You see him walking around? Is that the same kid? I don't know. That kid went viral, dude. It is. We have another legend stopping by the stream. Man, that kid. I don't know how many people watched that clip, but I'm sure it's still getting views. Okay, so Moonzs brought her other rook to the center, and it looks like white is going for the bishop trade. So here, the computer really likes knight e5, just diving in here. Just immediately punching the queen, attacking the knight. And there it's important to note we couldn't take with the knight because then the pawn will take and fork our minor pieces. So we would be forced to give up the bishop pair. Also, rook on e8, this signifies that it's possible black is looking for a central pawn expansion, which would come with a threat of a fork, which would be nice, and helps open up for the pieces, especially with the rook opposite the queen. E5 would be a great break for black to make. So knight e5 would just put the stop to that and perhaps allow Moonzs an opportunity to blunder into a fork, but we don't see that from white. We just see bishop coming into a6, which is definitely a very thematic move when you have the queen and bishop lined up on the same diagonal as a battery. And this light square bishop is fianchettoed, so very key defender of the king that is castled queenside. So trading off these pieces is helpful for white. Now it's important for Moonzs not to take... Trading is fine, it's just we don't necessarily want to invite the queen into our camp. We would much rather prefer white to take our bishop and invite our king up to the b7 square where the fianchetto bishop is, and that way the king can help keep an eye on some of these light square weaknesses. What's up, Speed Chess? Good to see you. Is this really a London with double queenside castling? Notchul, yeah. Let me show you the start of this game here. We did have a London, and both sides decided a queenside castle. So I was shocked and surprised myself to see queenside castles, first from Moonzs, really a trendsetter here, and white followed suit. So I think both sides were perhaps concerned about going kingside. I noted that if Moonzs takes, then this rook would open on the h-file, and along with this light square bishop attacking h7, that's definitely some cause for concern, castling short side into a potential attack. But after Moonzs castled queenside, perhaps it was white who was then afraid of going kingside as well. So they just followed suit. So yeah, now we have just a double queenside castle London system position, which honestly, it's pretty exciting. I would love to see, can we even play e5 right now? E5, pawn takes, knight takes, bishop takes, rook takes. It seems like it's possible. So that's cool. Now, the best move, the computer wants us to take on g3, apparently. Take on g3 and then maybe push. Or taking on a6. I personally wouldn't take on a6, but it seems like it's a legal move for sure. What's up, Destian? Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Good to see you. Hope you are doing well. Let me know in the chat if you guys watched Moonzs' earlier game, because I missed it, unfortunately. I've been having quite the lazy day today. I did manage to get out of bed, as evidenced by me sitting here. Although, perhaps I'm using a green screen. I just have a green bed sheet that I'm... That would be next level. That would be a lot of effort to be lazy, which is the kind of effort that I'm looking for in my life. What's up, Paladin Archer? Good to see you. Hello. DQ'd a master. The 3-stream streak. Let's go. Huge. And Paladin's on a 5-stream streak for Moonzs. Shout out to Twitch. Really keeping all of us accountable for our stream streaks. Check your Insta stories to see how your day went after the game. All right, Destron. Should I do that right now? Shout out to Destron's Instagram. Ooh, should I say it out loud? This is fresh. I don't know who this person is, but oh, okay, now I know who this person is. Don't leak it. Don't you worry. But this is really cool. Oh my goodness. You guys are missing out. I feel bad. I feel bad that Destin is allowing me this opportunity to see a glimpse into his life. But that is very cool. I've had a similar opportunity in the past. I actually have showed my Fellowship of the Ring book that's been signed by the Four Hobbits, which was really cool. So I guess for those of you that are missing out, you sort of get an idea. The Destin had a similar sort of thing. So, anyhow, yeah, there's not really that many like huge celebrities that I like really look up to, but the Lord of the Rings I think is gonna be a forever all-time classic for me. Elwood, you like his pie? Well, the pie symbols, those are for the subscribers, and I think I have a pie command. Anyways, I've been sort of neglecting this chess commentary here. Did she make her move? Did I? Oh, she's pushed her pawn. She has pushed e5. E5 is on the board. We've been looking at this move, and she has it covered. So she's done the mental math, the calculations. She's checked it out, and it checks out. So here she is. She's pushed e5, and perhaps even threatening to push e4. I know with the bishop on d3, it was a fork, but okay. We have the simple capture on b7. Moonzs will surely recapture with her king in just a moment. I fall back to the game. Not your fault. But yeah, we do have the pie command there. It looks like they made all the olds sit on one side of the table and all the kids on the other. That's kind of funny. But yeah, there's just so many kids. It's like every round you're going to get paired with one. But it's good. It's good to see the next generation is playing the game, and they're going to be keeping the chess community alive and well. But of course, we still also have, as you put it, the olds, which is just funny. But yeah, chess is a beautiful game. It's a game for all ages, which I think is really cool. And it's not just for kids to start, but there's also a lot of adult improvers, people that have gotten into chess later in life. And when I say later, I mean after the age of 12, which includes me, by the way. I didn't really get into chess until halfway through high school. So I joined the high school chess club as a way to meet people. Kids are horrible, Pizza Racer. I'm sorry. You're thinking of baking a pie. Ooh, what kind of pie? Apple pie? Or like a shepherd's pie? I have almost too much pie, if you can believe that, in my fridge right now. Here in the US for Thanksgiving, my aunt loves to bake pies, and so she made a homemade pumpkin pie, but she also grows a lot of her own food. She has a garden, and she loves making jams and canning things, and she makes green beans, and she also has a pear tree, and she grows her own blackberries. So she made homemade and homegrown pear pie and blackberry pie. So I have all of these pies stocked up right now. So shout out to my aunt, who is quite the chef and loves to feed me. So that's definitely something that I'm thankful for. Also, today is our first day of snow. So we got a couple of inches of snow last night, so it's looking nice outside. Does anyone else have snow going on or not quite yet? Probably an apple pie, very nice. Yes, it was Thanksgiving 2 days ago on Thursday. You can go for some blackberry pie. Well, if you come visit, I have some left over. But also, I can ask my aunt to make some again. There's a storm coming. Smothered in hugs. That's nice. Well, maybe not the storm. I don't know. Some people like storms. Just like how I like pawn storms. So perhaps we could see an attack. Now, if it was opposite side castles, then it would really be suited for a pawn storm. But we have same side castles, and white has just brought the queen out to b5. And what this is doing is bringing the queen just in the general vicinity of black's king. And typically when you put pieces towards a particular side, good things can happen. Now, the queen is quite lonesome on herself, by herself on the queen side here against the black king. Black's king has plenty of defenders nearby, and this queen doesn't really coordinate with anything. But this knight might come, and there's a world where there's going to be a check. Now, both of these squares are covered, but this pawn, the point is that it's pinned to this king. So, okay, and we see actually now Moonzs is bringing her queen to a very active square. And usually when you see a queenside castle's position, the king likes to go to the b file because the d pawn is typically pushed, and when your castle at queenside, your king is one square closer to the center, which means that the king is actually a little bit more exposed when you queenside castle. That is one of the inherent risks of castling queenside. The rook is more active on the d file, as you can see for both of these players. Moonzs has been able to get the king up to b7 after that light square bishop trade, which is a pretty safe square for this king. This king, though, for white has not gone to the b file yet, and because the c pawn has also been pushed, the queen on f5 is actually a very strong placed piece for Moonzs. So that is definitely something to keep in mind when this king is now essentially cut off. There's no legal moves even for this king. So this could be a potential strength in black's position, if black can also perhaps add some more attackers. So, I mean, if this queen doesn't control here, if you could imagine this knight somehow making it here, that would actually just be checkmate already. So this king might be a target in the future if white's not able to contest this strong queen. Now, it is true, though, that the queen can be attacked, or perhaps this knight can move and the queen can come back, or maybe even the queen can come back this way. So let's see what white decides to do. Also, just keep in mind, the queens are opposite of each other on the 5th rank as well. So there's a world where maybe these pawns get traded and there's some potential problems. I would actually love to see this knight coming in here. Imagine a knight landing on d3. That would be quite something as well, lining that king up with discovery attacks. That being said, I mean, white has a lot of ways to prevent that from happening as well. Like I mentioned, this knight could move. That helps open up the rook. So, okay, white has made their move. And it looks like they brought their rook from h to e1. Just sort of copying black's rooks in the center. I mean, this is definitely where the rooks like to be. And noting that neither side has traded any of the pawns, there are no semi-open files yet, but the E and D pawns are typically the most advanced pawns because you're trying to control the center, and these pawns are very likely to be traded. So if there's going to be a file that opens up, it's likely going to be the E file or the D file, depending on how these players decide to trade. Because white might also be gearing up to push some of these pawns, and the D file might open up then. So we'll see what Moonzs now decides. So far, so good. This is definitely a solid game here. Now, the best move it's saying is to push e4. Now, e4, in my mind, is kind of contradictory to what I would think is the proper plan moving forward. But it looks like we're trying to just close the position. It looks like we're taking away squares from both the knight and the queen, but at the same time, we're kicking away this knight and we're opening up for our bishops. So I'm curious what the computer thinks. There's a world where the f-pawn is a target because it's only defended by the bishop right now, and this knight is pinned to it. So if we're able to trade the bishops and kick the knight away, then maybe black could win some material here. Now, I don't necessarily think that Moonzs will play e4. I don't even think I would play e4, to be honest, because, as I was pointing out earlier, I really like this queen on this diagonal, and I feel like the e4 pawn push sort of blocks that. But also, I feel like the knight maybe can just come to h4 and kick our knight away. So really, there's not much to be said about the f-pawn. So yeah, black to move. Okay, and there she goes. She's played e4. This is the best move in the position, according to the engine. So I was expecting knight h4, which apparently is the second best, to knight to g1, which just looks super passive. So yeah, I guess it just wants the queen to come back. I don't know. I guess the knight on h4 is kind of a dead piece, and we're threatening to trap it with g5. Wow. Okay, well, if knight h4, queen e6, trade, I feel like there's g3. I guess still g5, knight g2, and then knight has nowhere to go. Is knight d4 possible? I don't think so. Okay, well, white very quickly did not play knight h4, and they just immediately played knight g1. So they seemed like they were prepared for that. They played that very quickly. And yeah, I mean, knight h4 looked super natural to me, just hitting the queen, but the knight, I guess, wants a new home. And here it looks to me like black can get a pretty sizable advantage by capturing on g3. And if white takes with the h-pawn, then f2 falls, probably along with some more pawns to follow. And if white takes with the f-pawn to mitigate the loss of material, then this structure of white's becomes a bit weaker, and white will be left with some doubled pawns, which could become targets later. So, well, let's see if Moonzs finds this trade of the dark square bishops. Bishop takes on g3. This is the best move. So honestly, she's playing great right now. Let's see if she continues. This would be really nice damage to the pawn structure if she finds this bishop trade. What's up, Joey? Good to see you. Hello, Jen, on Monday. How are ya? Moonzs is playing really great right now. She's playing super solid. She's coming off of her first win of the tournament earlier this morning. So she's 1 out of 3 right now, looking to improve to 2 out of 4, which would be a really nice score. And she is the underdog here in this matchup, about 300 rating below her opponent. But she's got a great position here with the black pieces as well. Let me pull up this player. I feel like our opponent has the pin in their mouth. Oh, never mind. I'm like, sometimes with these kids, they do some silly things. We saw Emily's former opponent walking back in the background earlier. So that kid was doing all sorts of fun things. Yeah, this position was from a London system, and both players decided to castle queenside. So let's go from the start and show for anyone tuning in late. We see a fianchetto and now a queenside castle from both sides, and bring the rooks in. We see this e5 pawn break from black, recapture from the king. White brings the queen in. Moonzs brings her queen in. And now we see the closing of the position with e4, forcing the knight back. And now this is the moment where we're all caught up. It's black to move. Moonzs is looking for her next step. And the computer thinks that she should trade bishops. And I think that this comes with some concrete advantages for the black side. So if she finds that, that's great. If she doesn't, she's probably she has, I mean, a lot of other alternatives. She could just play something as calm as a6. Just kicking that queen out, right? The white queen is the only piece in black's half of the board. So if we're able to kick that queen out of there, that could be helpful in the future, you know, just making sure that our king is safe. There's even a world where we could try to attack on the queen side and maybe use the a file for our rook, which is a common idea when you see the king stepping up to b7 here. That clears the path for the rook, which is sometimes helpful in starting up an attack against your enemy's king. Yeah, and knight c6 was something that I noted when she played it. Usually in these d4, d5 openings, you want to keep your c-pawn flexible. In this position, she hasn't moved her c-pawn, but she also hasn't needed to, as she's decided to castle queenside. And these pawns are pretty helpful to keep around the king. Usually you don't see a queenside castle in these sort of openings. Usually the c-pawn is helping aid in the control of the center and is being pushed. So the knight on c6 does block the c-pawn. But so far in this position, there's been really no need for that. But definitely a possibility in the future she could move her knight and then still try to come up with an attack against the king, maybe put the rook on the c-file. So, yeah, let's see. I'm thinking she'll trade. It's typically one of the main things that you're looking at when you are coming up with candidate moves. You want to look for the checks first, and here there are none. There's no direct path to... Oh, no! We might have to, we might have to adjust. Oh, gosh, we really need this camera to... I mean, she noticed it got bumped, but I don't think she noticed that the camera is not on center anymore. But they're not playing... Oh, she notices now. Okay, she's gonna have to fix it. Oh, our opponent is giving us some assistance. Well, I guess that's gonna have to do for now, folks. Hold on. I'm gonna try and see if I can give us maybe a little bit more. I mean, who really needs the H file anyways, right? Who was using that to begin with? I don't know. It's not even the whole... It's just... We're just missing half of H1. So, we have it for the most part. It's fine. We'll be good. It looks like Black's place should be on the king side. Yeah, well, I think Black is set up well enough that they can be flexible and they can play in either direction. So far, it's been mostly in the middle, which is very, very solid idea here. I really like her plan E5, followed with E4 now. She's successfully entered White's half, and now, as you're suggesting the play, she could direct her attention to the king side, starting with this bishop trade and targeting these weak pawns. White's pieces, they've got the rooks well placed in the center, but the center has been now closed. And White's queen is kind of on her own here. Okay, we've got some more camera movement. And we've also got the attention of Moonzs is here to save the day. Giving us all a high five there. And okay, well, unfortunately, now we've officially lost the H file, along with probably... Is that the whole G file? Okay, well, isn't that ironic? Trying to fix it makes it worse. The ultimate irony. It's okay, though. You know, we were saying that Moon should play on the king side, but now, given the circumstances, I think she should keep her attention to the queen side so that we can see what's happening. Should you get in the playing desk, Jen? You might have to. I'd love to go to the Charlotte Chess Center one day. I've never been. But yeah, okay, she's very clearly made a kingside pawn push. And now we have something that just fell over. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on at this playing hall? I don't know. But I do know that we would prefer another camera adjustment if possible, because it's going to be hard otherwise. Let me see if I can. No, I really can't tell. I think she pushed G5 or H5. And then he must have also made a move on the... Oh no, he's brought his knight out. He's brought his knight to E2. But her move, I genuinely can't tell. I saw what she did. She pushed one of these two pawns. For sure, is what she did. Hey Zora, yeah, we're watching Moonzs again. This is her 4th round of the tournament. She won round 3 earlier today, which is great. And then somebody bumped the camera, so now we don't have a good view of the H and G files. So yeah, I wonder if we could get one of the other streamers. Maybe one of the other streamers will finish their game early. If we can have them go fix the camera. The random bystander. I know, it's these, there's not enough space for these cameras. That's okay. But yeah, it looks like she decided not to trade bishops. Not yet, but it looks like it's still an option. They're probably so good. Yeah, they're all future chess stars, if not already. But yeah, it's cool to see. Yeah, I wonder if Moonzs will notice or adjust the camera again. I feel like she probably wouldn't. So maybe we need another bystander to knock the camera over. We need to get some insider to go bump into it again. So in this case, maybe 2 wrongs make a right. Hey Derp, good to see you. Shout out to the Esquilla emote. Man, that guy, he's so cool. Look at that. We got another one. Shout out to Esquilla. Yeah, I missed that guy. Yeah, Dina is definitely there. But Dina also might be playing. I think she's competing. Typically, Dina's game will last longer than Moonz's game. Maybe on average. But I think Moonzs has been pacing herself quite well this game. I think the last game I watched, the players were playing quite quickly, which is, I think, fairly normal. Time management is something that is difficult to learn because there's so many resources out there on improving your chess game, you know, tactics, openings, end games, middle games, you know, pattern recognition, all this sort of stuff about the game itself, but it's really hard to really try to practice and focus on your time management, right? Knowing how much time to spend on a move, knowing how quickly or how slowly you should be playing, and really putting it all together for a full classical game. I mean, you can play so much chess online, but no one really plays classical chess online. Not a lot of people want to play classical chess online. So to get the timing right is very difficult because you can only really practice during classical games, which require these tournaments, and not everyone has the time or the means to compete in these classical over-the-board tournaments. This was a tournament that Moonzs flew to. So, yeah, getting the pacing right is difficult, but she's spending her time here, which is really nice. You like to see. I think typically players, even online, players that are learning either play too fast or okay. Should we just guess that she's played h5? Should we just go with h5? And now it looks like she just played knight to a5. So this is the one move that we're maybe not so sure on. But h5, I think, perhaps makes more sense than g5. What opening did she play? Well, she played against a London, so it was d4 from white, and she followed with this setup, which is pretty solid, and then both sides queenside castle. She brought her rook in, and now she's playing in the center, which is really nice. e4. Okay, and here we see white now trades bishops, and she can take back with the rook. She could also take with the pawn, but hopefully she doesn't do that because we don't want to double our d-pawns. Now her knight is defending the rook, which is attacked by the queen. So this is a really important detail, just making sure that the knight is around and that our rook is defended. That allows for her to take with the rook. Now, that being said, this move, it also does a couple of things. First off, it no longer defends f2. So she's taking back with the rook. Now, she's threatening the f2 pawn, but there's this interesting idea that white can play knights to g3, which attacks the queen, and attacks the h-pawn, assuming the h-pawn is even there, because we're not really getting the full board view anymore, unfortunately. But my idea is that if we take on f2 and they take on h5, that could distract our knight, which is defending the rook. That being said, the queen is getting in there. Okay, so our opponent has just moved their knight to f4. So this is blocking the queen's view of the f-pawn, and this also confirms that g5 was not played. So we're able to assume certain pushes of pawns based off of the placement of the pieces that we can see. So, what's up, Guitar is Life? How are you doing? Yeah, there was an a6 in betweener possible for sure, smothered. But I think someone also said that if a6 is played, then white could maybe bring their queen back to e2, which earlier it wasn't possible if the knight was on e2, so that's very valid. But now that the knight has moved to f4, e2 is open again for this queen to come back. Now I am curious though. Check this out. Maybe knight f4 is baiting g5, because g5, it attacks the knight, which looks like it hopes open up our queen. But first off, the knight can go back to defend the f-pawn, but also g5 blocks our queen's defense of h5. So if g5 is played, there is knight takes h5. And as we had pointed out, this knight is dependent, or the rook really is dependent on defending the rook. Sorry, the rook is dependent on the knight for its defense. This kid is adjusting their pawns, their pieces. Hopefully they said Jadoob, although maybe it doesn't matter since it's not their turn. But I think it should still matter. I don't know. I didn't come up with the rules. But I do claim to be a chess player, so maybe I should know the rules. Presumably you have to still say adjust. Ooh, and I think she's just played g5 just now. I think she's just played g5. Just based off that hand movement. And I am expecting to see this knight move. And we might see this tactic, knight takes h5. No, the knight comes home. Back to e2. And this is a very big opportunity for Moonzs. Now, she shouldn't take on f2. Can somebody in the chat tell me why she should not take this pawn? I do think I mean, it's possible she only played h6. Maybe she just played h6. I don't know. h5 is our guess, our assumption. Yeah, Rook Rabbit, we are absolutely blinded to the G and H files. Luckily, there's only pawns there. So, how important could they really be compared? I mean, we're seeing most of the board. It's like... Also, the game next to them's already finished. That's pretty crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's not that crazy. This is the under 1,000 section. So, it's the party section, as I like to call it. I've never called it that before. I'm gonna call it that from now on. You know, the open section, I mean, they got what? The US Masters going? Like, it sounds too official. That's too serious, you know. It's not for me. Under 1,000 section, I mean. Now that's where all the fun's at. That's why they call it the party section. So, MFN... saying queen takes f2 has response rook f1 and we lose our knight. Yeah, it's a pretty deep consequence here. You have to recognize that the knight defends the rook, right? So the knight is defended. If we take here and rook f1, it looks like we could just go into Pac-Man mode and gobble up all of these pawns. But white has this really nice tactic, sacrificing the rook, Gotham chess style. But then white gets the rook back. So I think it's really important that there's a world where she can actually insert this c6 pawn push, perhaps. If we play a6, the queen can stay on this diagonal. And if we play b5, then our knight will no longer be defended. So c6 could be a very important move. Honestly, I would just prefer that we don't touch our pawns and we just like bring our rook back or this rook forward or something. Okay, what has she just moved her knight. That's not good, is it? Her rook is hanging now. I assume she's played knight to g4. I assume her rook is just completely hanging. And this is one of the concerns as well of allowing bishop takes on d6, is that both our rook and our knight were defending the rook on e8, and taking removes one defender, and now she had to be really aware of her knight defending the rook again. So here we might see, oh, she might even have recognized it. She's trying to put on her poker face, maybe. I don't know. I can't tell. Does she seem more nervous to you guys? You think white's going to take this rook? Right now, it seems like the knight might be a big enough distraction. There's so many pawns hanging. Okay, I think they just played h3, which attacks the knight. No, I'm pretty sure her rook is completely hanging. Oh, and I think he just noticed too. I don't know. I think she needs to play c6. Wait, what did she? Wait, no, they must have played f3 then. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some action heating up on this board. There are things that are happening. She's for sure just grabbed on f3. And the good news now, at least, is that if they take the rook, then we can take this knight. I guess. Hold on. It looks like they're going to take back this pawn. Guys, I don't know what's happening. Now there's knight takes a oh my god. Knight takes. No, I think she took the wrong way. I think she took the h pawn. Guys, knight takes e3 was lining up checkmate. And that would have baited the rook. I think the opponent's going to take the rook now. No, they're just moving the rook. They're attacking the knight, I'm sure. I'm sure of it. Guys, is this rook on e8 hanging or what? Like, am I crazy? Oh my goodness. She's gotta play c6, you guys. She's gotta play c6. What is going on in this game? You think she's gonna take on f3? She might just take on f3. And it's really crazy how her rook is just completely hanging, and the evaluation saying it's even still, actually. The Jedi mind trick, this rook. This rook is like a cat with 9 lives. And I'm just completely eyeballing what's happening on the G and H files. By the way, we're going blind here. But yeah, no, they picked up the pace considerably. They were taking their sweet time. And now it's like they're playing blitz over there. So yeah. I wonder if I guess she hasn't noticed. I was thinking the players noticed, but obviously not. C6 would be a pretty good move, I imagine. Does she write down her moves? Yes. Okay, she has grabbed another pawn. Knight takes f3. And of course, her rook is still there. Somehow this is still fine for her. What did he play? Did he just did he bring his... No, he brought his knight over. Oh, he took it. Okay, it's what happens if queen takes, and then she can take here, no? Huh. It's saying to not take and just play knight c4. I don't really... Okay, so queen takes knight. And of course, the rook is still hanging on e8. They're both just in their own little world. just are we gonna see? Is he? There he goes. Okay. With the pin in the mouth and the rook in the hand now. And there goes the rook. So okay, the rook has been taken. But now, I mean, she should just take the other knight, and somehow, some way. I mean, she's been grabbing all of these pawns, but yeah, man, c6 would have been really helpful, but okay. We move on. She didn't need that rook anyways, honestly. But that is pretty devastating, of course. She's still better. Presumably this knight on e2 is free. So she should take, but obviously to drop a rook like that can be pretty devastating. But you can't let that deter you from going on. So we can only move onwards. And taking the knight is at least something. So she's maybe considering inserting like rook e6 first, but okay, she has taken the knight. Now f7's hanging. Yeah, maybe rook e6 was better. What did the computer think of rook e6? What's the move? Queen d7? And maybe the g-pawn falls. Okay, so he's brought his other rook over. So now the queen is hit. I think the queen should go to... I don't know. Wherever the queen goes, the rook could be annoying still. I would love to see this knight landing on c4. I think the knight on c4 is going to be just an absolute monster of a piece. And I think she actually has really good mating chances, actually. Hey, Husky, how's it going? How have you been? The pawns could win the endgame, it's true. I think it's going to be the knight and queen combo. It's one of the strongest combinations in chess. So she did bring her knight to... Yeah, honestly, knight a5 didn't make much sense when she played it. It just helped open up the queen, right? So that was pretty unnecessary. However, from a5, we can go to c4, which could be very powerful. Okay, and she's bringing her queen back. Oh, she should... She hovered around b5 for a moment, I think. Queen c4 is very strong. Attacking the a pawn, of course. However, we can allow the king to come to b1 now, and we're blocking our knight from getting to c4. With that being said, imagine with me a world where we push our b pawn and play rook a6. That would be a pretty baller sequence. And if they push b3, we sacrifice our knight. 100%. You got excited there was a dog nearby? Well, apologies if I brought your hopes up. Okay, opponent has played king b1, which makes a lot of sense. And now there's only one good move for black, it seems, apparently, and it's rook to f6, which is a very logical and strong move. I love this move, rook f6. It does two things. First off, defends our f-pawn, but secondly, we're threatening to play rook to f2, all the while taking over the control of the f-file and preventing white from taking the f-file. Now, maybe that's a lot to ask for. I feel like b5 is exciting. The computer might not agree with me, but I like that idea too. The knight sack line. I want to do this. This. And if the king goes here, this is just mate in one. And if the king goes here, I mean, we can take still. And here, I mean, we have this. Or this. I mean, interestingly, they have to sack at that point. So b3 would be a very bad move from white. It would allow some devastating checks from the queen after the knight sacrificed. But yeah, 480. I actually did post a picture of a husky in my Discord server. If you would like to go see a picture of a husky. Hey, what's up, Cormac? Good to see you. Welcome in. We're playing with 6 out of 8 rows of a chessboard. Black to move. Best move is rook f6. My idea is b5. And this is where you can call me crazy, or you can say it's creative. But this allows queen takes, of course. Rook here allows Lord knows what. I don't know. But the problem is this knight is blocking us, right? So if you bring the knight back, then we don't have the sacrifice anymore. So let's say they take, and I play knight c6, and they push. I guess the c-pawn falls. Here now, there's some stuff that we can work with for sure. Oh man, it's hating this position now. Yeah, because we're infiltrating. If they block, then this falls. So chess is fun. Chess is also hard. So good luck to Moonzs. Also, it's getting dark early. It is past 5 p.m. where they are on the East Coast. I made the dog sweater myself? No. No, the dog came with the sweater when I saw it. But yes, huskies typically are high energy and make a lot of noise. But this husky was super sweet. Very well behaved. Such a good boy. And only made noise on command. If you told it to bark, it would bark. But otherwise, it didn't make any noise at all. So basically, he would just go up to you and like rub against your leg until you pet him. So he's basically like a cat. Just a giant husky cat. It's so cute. Moonzs is Scottish. Real Strategy Gaming. I'm actually not sure. She's not based out of Charlotte. She's traveled here to compete in this tournament. So I don't know necessarily where she's based originally. But yeah. Moonzs just shared a look with someone there. I don't know who that was, but I definitely think the rook blunders like got her pretty good. I think she's really slowed down her pace. They were playing so fast, and then she realized like, oh, I am definitely missing some things. So that's actually pretty unfortunate. That it was hanging for so many moves. Like it's one thing to lose it immediately, and it's another thing. Holy smokes, folks! Moonzs has played my move b5. She sees the vision that I see. She wants to play. She wants to play rook a6, dude. Guys, this is very exciting. I love it. Oh, that's right, Real Strategy. But maybe she's from there, but maybe she's not based there anymore. I'm not sure. Oh, Jen on Monday's answering. She's American, but she lived in Scotland for a bit, but not anymore. Okay, white, without hesitation or thought, maybe some thought, but very quickly they just grab on f7, which is the best move, just snagging the pawn. And when I was calculating this earlier, I was giving a lot of what ifs, but the good news is if our opponent keeps playing quickly, they could allow for some fireworks on the board if Moonzs here plays rook a6, which was the idea. I mean, why else play b5? Maybe to play b4, but clearly we want our rook in. So now, oh, she's gone b4. Okay, b4 on the board. Still exciting. I would be worried about opening the c file, perhaps. I don't know, guys. C takes is the best move. It's the only move that holds initiative for white. I was wondering if we played something like rook a6, if they could play like e4, which is kind of annoying for sure. So, okay. Let's see what opponent does. Opponent could keep grabbing pawns with their queen, assuming there is a pawn at h5. This was the major assumption that we made. So it is white to move. Let's see. They're marking the move on their sheet. Let's see if they. Okay, they're asking what the square was here. Okay, they're double checking the sheet. Oh, she's from Boston. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, shout out to Smoothly. Oh my goodness, they just brought the rook over. Okay. So rook to c1. And now this is a blunder. This allows for a couple of tactics. There's first off b3 she can play. That's one thing. Second off, she has queen to d3 check, which apparently is winning. Queen d3 check could lead to just quite a spectacular finish, ladies and gentlemen. if queen d3 check, white could blunder the fantastic king a1, which is a very natural move to make, leading to the spectacular finish knight b3 check, a takes b3, rook a6 check and mate. Imagine if she finds that. That would be quite the finish. That would be spectacular. I would be jumping up and down if she finds that. Now, of course, white doesn't have to blunder that. I bet they would, though. I would imagine. I bet she doesn't find it. I know, it's not going to be easy if she hasn't seen that pattern before. But in any puzzle that you solve, they tell you to follow the checks, right? It's just check, 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 and mate. That being said, white could also just block with the rook, in which case we still play b3. They'd be forced to take, basically, and we have knight takes, and I mean, this is looking like a really deadly combo. That being said, I'm actually not sure how exactly this works, because maybe d5 falls with check in some lines. I don't know. Can I do some analysis real quick? Takes, takes. I mean, yeah, this doesn't work, man. It doesn't work. How do we break through here? We have knight. Oh, this is a nice fork, I guess, but what else is there? Oh my god, 91. 91 is ridiculous move. Oh my goodness, guys. Chess is just so beautiful, isn't it? Knight a1, rook here, imagine. We just take. Okay, well, we take and we run. Yeah, I mean, we do have a lot of pawns, so if we get the exchange back, we'll just be up material. But yeah, it's great to see. I mean, she's launched the b pawn. Didn't have quite exactly the same idea that I had when I made the pawn push in my analysis, but it's doing its job. It's made white blunder. And I mean, this is truly something remarkable to see, is the opponent playing so quickly and so confidently when their only winning move was to take on b4, and now has allowed two winning ideas from black. Both b3 and queen d3 check are around -3 in black's favor. That being said, she could even just play something like g4 apparently, which doesn't make any sense to me. It's saying this is still equal after this. Oh, because we still have queen to d3 check. Of course, this blunders the same mate in 2 idea that we looked at. But if rook c2, now we have rook to c6, threatening to win this. And then if here, we can take, and now, oh, we have a perpetual. Very interesting. Okay, so there's a world where she doesn't need to play either winning move, and she could still be technically even, although that perpetual might not be the easiest thing to find. So, where are we, guys? This is dangerous. She's played rook to b6. So, she didn't find the 2 winning moves. She's looking for checkmate on the b file, but the problem is I'm worried that she's blundering the c file opening. Man, queen d3 would have been awesome. Queen d3, man. I'm confident he would have blundered that mate. But I would be less confident that she'd find it, is the problem. Okay, so he definitely is taken on b4. And now, assuming she'll play queen takes b4. Now, there's still that perpetual draw that we saw with rook c6, but I highly doubt she would go for this. There's still queen d3, and he could blunder still. Yeah, I wish I could just, like, reach through the screen and, like, make the move for them, you know, and just be like, you should do this because this is going to be good. This is going to be good for you. Just trust me. But no, it's not me playing for them. I can only just watch. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, you know? I just have to watch it unfold live before my very own eyes. She's going to take on b4, and then there's going to be some problems on c7, I think. You know her online elo? What's her username again? Does she have like 2 Z's or 2 N's? Hold on. Yeah, I know her Twitch. When did I stream with Jesse? That was on Tuesday. That was the 25th. Here we go. Wait. Yeah, it's 2 Z's. I don't have her rapid on the command, but I can pull it up. Her rapid is 659. Okay, so yeah, she has played queen takes, and now it's white. Unfortunately, there is a winning combination for white, and they're taking to... Oh, did they just touch the... Wait, what? Oh my goodness. Yeah, and this is actually not so uncommon, I would say, that there's a really strong aggressive attack, but black also clearly is threatening checkmate. So instead of going for the offense, white blunders and goes for the defense. Unfortunately, this is solid enough that it still very much is winning. That being said, though, I mean, knight c4 looks like a good move. Oh, knight c4 blunders this fork. Shoot. I guess knight c4, if takes, we still have rook c6, but... Yeah, I don't know, guys. Chess is tough, dude. At least this is a game. This is still a very close game. I mean, the round 2 game that I watched wasn't really that close, unfortunately. But this game, I mean, it's not like she hasn't had her chances, and this game is still obviously very much going on, and still, I would call it a 3-outcome game for sure. I think anything is possible at this point. So, opponent, unfortunately, defends checkmate, but fortunately didn't go for c7 right away, which means that they very well could have missed it in the first place. Maybe that's a move that they would have played if they had seen it. And we saw them both miss a hanging rook for multiple moves in a row. So, legitimately, I think anything is possible. Joe's a GM in Dark Souls. I wish. I haven't even finished the DLC. But yeah, we're getting down to the wire here. This is crunch time. This is like both players just in an absolute fight. So, yeah. Her D pawn is hanging, her C pawn is hanging. And honestly, if she could even just like trade queens, she's still very, very possibly winning with these pawns. Those pawns are not to be underestimated. I mean, I'm still not sure if the pawn's on h5 or h6, but I have a pretty good like, it's like part of me wants the game to go on, but also like if they do trade everything and then there's the king side pawn pushes, I'm actually gonna have no idea what's happening anymore. So part of me wants the game to just, let's see if someone just knocks out the other real quick. Okay, she's brought her queen down. She's attacking the rook, which makes sense. Unfortunately, she still has to reconcile with the c pawn hanging, so she looks locked in. Travis. Okay. Opponent has triple locked in on c7 now, so they didn't take it. It's kind of funny though, because like rook takes relieves the defender. So now, I mean, what's wrong with playing knight c4, right? There she goes. Knight c4. And it's crazy, there's only one good move, and it's king a1, which I can almost guarantee you they're not going to play. They might play like b3. You think, okay, maybe they play king a1. I don't know. I mean, they could even sack an exchange. That would be actually great if they sack the rook and get mated in one. That'd be pretty fun. That'd be great. Who else wants to see that? They might just do that. Imagine they do that. Let's all cross our fingers and pray. Let's see what he does. This is a big moment here. King a1 is the only good move. It's the only winning move for white. King a1. If he plays king a1, props to him. Okay, he's blundered his exchange. He didn't blunder mate, but he blundered a big check. Obviously, there's knight a3 check, which is the only drawing move apparently. But yeah, she dropped a rook but won a knight, so really she only lost an exchange, which she can get back right here right now with knight a3 check, which is it's clearly the most logical move. Um, I mean, not like her knight is hanging really, but I mean the b pawn is pinned. This is more of a defensive move from white, just making sure that the b pawn doesn't get captured. Although I'm pretty sure capturing that pawn would have been devastatingly bad. What if they did something like this? Still knight a3. Knight a3 is much stronger now. Oh, that's so close. So hold on. Rook c6 is the only winning move here. That checks out. That makes sense. So, okay. Yeah, we had... What are we looking at? Sorry. Where was I? Yeah, this is the line. All right, Moons. Big moment here. Knight a3 check. Let's get that exchange back. And we're actually going to be up a pawn. So it's very close. What's up, Jesse? Shout out to Jesse. Good to see you. Man, you guys, what a fight this game is. This has been very exciting. Very back and forth, very up and down. A classic roller coaster of a match. She's been up, she's been down, and right now it's saying it's even. If she finds knight a3 check, which is a fork to the king and to the rook. And the opponent has been missing a lot of opportunities to just close this out. They could have taken on c7 multiple different times, multiple different ways, but they've missed it every single time. And now they've given up their opportunity. And here she goes. She's found the best move. Knight a3 check to the king and a fork to the rook. This is definitely a very good move. This is going to bring back her chances, and I think she's going to be the favorite here. Now, the king has two legal moves. If they go to the corner, she's going to take the rook with check. They go up, which is the better move, but still, after taking, white's going to have to take back. So let's see her take this rook here. I don't think she's thinking about knight c4 check. That would be an unfortunate mistake. She really will just take the rook, getting back the material. And then she has to defend. I mean, she's looking for something more, which is very logical. But there isn't anything more, unfortunately. But the fortunate news is that she could take a rook now. So let's see her. She's using her time, which is really great. Our opponent has not. They have a lot of time left on their clock. I think still over an hour. There is also some 10-second increment, I believe. Christmas picks with Rudy. I didn't think he celebrated Christmas, though. I thought Rudy was Jewish. Which, I mean, I know he is, so we'll see. We'll see how they turn out. I'm sure they'll be posted somewhere. Cheesy Greasy, hello. We're rooting for Moonzs, who has the black pieces here. She's streaming as well. If you'd like to go give her a follow or check out her channel. She's traveled all the way to the land of Charlotte, North Carolina, to compete in the North Carolina Open, hosted by the Charlotte Chess Center. This is currently round 4. She's won 1 game so far out of 3. Her most recent game, which was earlier today. So this is her first time streaming an over-the-board tournament, as well as her first time playing 2 classical games in the same day. And she's got to do that 3 days in a row. So this is day 2. She played 2 games yesterday, and she will play 2 more games tomorrow to conclude the tournament. He's got a new sweater. Very sweet. Shout out to Rudy. Rudy the cutie. Okay, I am slightly concerned the longer she thinks here, she might think herself out of a good move. But she most certainly should be taking this rook. You should go to the local chess tournament. I mean, everyone's going to be really friendly. I mean, it's just a bunch of chess people, you know? These are our people. Yeah, Sleipnir, she's definitely taking her time. And here she goes. Oh! Oh no! She's cooking, but she's perhaps overcooking. This is slightly painful. So, man, yeah, we had a good thing. And unfortunately now she's going to be in a world of hurts. So this move it's fancy. We're taking advantage of a pin and we're giving a oh, player played an illegal move. The move was too fancy. Oh my lord, ladies and gentlemen. Can she just take the king right there? Can we call it a day? Oh, and yeah, I don't even think she noticed, but he noticed, I think. He was like, wait, sorry, that's not legal. My bad. No, this is some riveting stuff. If only she could take back her move. Unfortunately. No, now he's played the best move here. King A1. And now the problem is her knight is genuinely just hanging now. And it's pinned to make matters worse. She can't really move that knight without losing. But clearly things are being missed. Things are not being played through all the way, logically, to say the least. But yeah, she should have taken the rook and she would have been up a pawn. Obviously, it's still not so easy or clear to navigate through. But yes, she's given up an opportunity to get out of some tricky water, which she's put herself back into, which is basically the C file has a lot of firepower on it for white. Two rooks doubled up, just crashing through to C7, and her king is going to be torn to pieces by all of white's pieces remaining, all lined up against C7, both rooks plus the queen. White's missed several opportunities to take advantage of it, but the problem is if you keep giving someone these opportunities, they're going to find it. Just like how we saw her rook was hanging on E8 for multiple moves in a row, and it was finally capitalized on. And so yeah, Moonzs, I knew the longer she thought, she was going to think herself out of it, unfortunately. So I imagine if we have our player interview at the end of the game and ask her, she'll be like, yeah, I thought about it. And sometimes these checks are just so tempting. It's like, hey, I'm giving a check. And it's like the opponent didn't even see it was check. They played an illegal move, but it's like that doesn't even help us, unfortunately. If it was a blitz game, depending on the tournament rules, maybe it would be, you know, the end of the game where she could just claim a win. But it's a classical game. The penalty of playing the illegal move is, it's not like, I mean, I don't even know. Her last game, she played an illegal move that I watched in round 2, and I think it's just like a time penalty, but it's like not even that significant. I think they add like a minute to your opponent's. It's like not even worth it. But even still, it wasn't a good move. So her knight unfortunately is helping defend the c file, but it's also being attacked by the b pawn. So she could have taken on c2. Now she no longer can. And yeah, it's just kind of an unfortunate position. What's the kid's rating? He is 858. That being said, I do think that she's made some really great progress. I mean, this game, it's still not over. It's still a fight, but she's given herself a lot of great opportunities. And in the first game that I watched, she didn't really have this similar level of tactics available to her. It was really her opponent was playing the tactics against her. So, you know, to be able to put yourself in a position to succeed is like half the battle. It's the first step. Otherwise, if you don't have those sort of tactics available or those opportunities, it means that you're doing something wrong. So she's definitely done a lot of great things in this game, and I'm really proud of this b5, b4 idea. I think was really strong. And despite giving up a rook, she still was able to get into a very strong position. And unfortunately, she just missed a couple of key moments, like taking on c2, for example, is obviously one major one. Also, there was this queen d3 check that she could have had, or playing like b3, for example. But to miss these opportunities means that you put yourself in a good position to have those opportunities to begin with. So that's the first half. She's been able to do that multiple times in this game alone. The next half is really finding the follow through, right? Being able to close out from a winning position. It's very tough to do. It's not easy to find how to convert. So again, it's very promising what she's been able to do and what she's done. And this is just the natural progression of someone that's trying to improve at chess. If people could figure it all out in, you know, one game or one tournament, like chess would be easy. You would see a lot more people, you know, joining these tournaments and dominating. But you don't see that. Why? Because it's not easy to do. It's not something you could just achieve overnight. It takes a long time. It takes years to get really good at chess. And that's just part of the process. That's part of the journey. And I think that's why it's so rewarding. That's why I still think a lot of people enjoy joining and competing and registering for these tournaments and these events. And also, there's a lot of other things involved, like the community and the social aspect of it all. So at the end of the day, why you would play chess is up to you, but ultimately it's a fun endeavor if you enjoy it. So hopefully you can take your losses in stride and learn from it and improve from it and still enjoy that process. But yeah, I think she's realizing this is a devastating position to be in. Unfortunately, she doesn't move the knight. She finds rook a6 here. And yeah, white should just take her knight. She's threatening to take b3, but at the same time, not really, because she could get pinned. But yeah, maybe our opponent will. Our opponent is smiling at our opponent, or at Moonzs. Now he's like, why did they play this move? He seems curious and confused and intrigued. Oh, he's he's, he's signaling to her like, what are these theatrics? He's like, can't I just take your knight? I mean, what are you thinking? Oh my god, this kid. All right, well, he's taken. And let's see what she comes up with now. Man, dude, it's so close, right? She's so close. It's just a couple of tactics here and there. And she really could have crushed this game. Which is, again, it's very promising. Right? These are really good signs. But yeah, she's in trouble. She is in trouble for sure. Constant growing pains. Well, I think chess is really rewarding though, and I think it's really fun at the end of the day. Like it is just a game, right? I mean, it's more than that, but at its root, it is just a game. Chess is what you make of it, and that's the beauty of anything in life, really. That's why I agree with Heikinichi saying chess is a masterclass in life lessons. Chess is just like anything else. It's what you make of it. And yeah, there are growing pains, right? Because it is painful to lose, right? If it wasn't painful to lose, then where would the motivation be to improve? And people can find motivation in multiple sources, right? But the objective of the game is to win. That is the goal. So part of learning is losing. And you can't really gain the experience you need to improve without risking loss. And yeah, here, man, just 2 moves ago, I mean, she really fought back. She put herself in a great position to even win and to find winning tactics and ideas. She just made a couple of wrong decisions and wrong choices in a couple of key pivotal moments. And looking back, those are going to be really important lessons to learn from and to improve from. And that's going to make her a better player because of it. But right now, here in the moment, she's still looking and searching for a way to break through. But without the knight, and for no compensation for it, really, Her king is too exposed. She's down a rook. Her queen is under attack by the pawn, and the c-file is not her friend. So there are very few things going for her right now. So this being said, I think that she could take on c4. And maybe she can find a checkmate on a2. There's definitely some hope involved, and that hope being that the opponent just doesn't outright checkmate her immediately. And there's still some reason to hope that that doesn't happen because the opponent has missed it so many times before. But like I said earlier, the opponent probably will not be giving up that opportunity again, as you can give them so many opportunities before they eventually take it. Melinda with a huge rate of 57. Thank you, hello, and welcome. And how are you? And how was your stream? Hope you're all doing well. You guys are tuning in just at the end here of this game we're about to see. This is Moonzs, who is also streaming and competing at the North Carolina Open at the Charlotte Chess Center. She's in round 4, and she will have 2 more rounds tomorrow. So if you guys want to go check her out, support her, see how she ends her tournament, I definitely recommend that you check out Moonzs and her stream. She's been having commentators covering her game. Just the Twitch chatter saying, what about queen a5? So yeah, she could move her queen to the a file. It's just anything she does at this point, her opponent will have something better. So, for example, moving the queen to the a file, there's going to be a check. I mean, the opponent could just simply take. They could even take with the queen with check. Any simplification or trading is going to favor white because they're up a rook. She's played queen to b4, but she can now get pinned by a rook. But even worse, they could just take on d5, and just opening the c-file is going to be the end of it. Instead, we see rook to b1, which is going to be more than enough to win. This is pinning the queen now to her king. So yeah, it's not, she didn't have any move that could save her at that point. Hi, Melinda. I'm doing great. I'm doing really well. I appreciate you asking and being here and sending the raid our way. I'll show you guys that are just joining us the start of this game to show you that just how close this really was and how much of a roller coaster this was. It was a London system where both sides decided a queenside castle, and Moonzs played this really strongly in the center, bringing her queen out, pushing e4, which is really smart. And then she should have traded knight a5 here was kind of a mistake, in that she opens up for this queen. And so at some point, both players missed that this rook was hanging. So she brought her knight out, attacking these pawns, and the opponent overlooked it. And here, she also could have found this knight takes e3 idea, which would have been very strong as well. She takes the h pawn, and now her opponent finally finds the free rook, but she does get a knight out of it. So it's technically even material because she had won so many pawns. And then she unfortunately started misplaying after she missed a couple of winning chances here. So she could have given a check, or she could have played b3. Instead, she allowed for the c-file to open, which, again, the opponent didn't capitalize on. The opponent decided to save the mate threat, and after knight to c4, she had a chance to equalize again after the opponent didn't find the winning move, king a1. Instead played a blunder, b3, allowing for the fork. But of course, this is where her last real mistake was. She should have taken the knight, and this would have been at least equal. And instead, she went for the check, which was a devastating mistake. After rook b1, I don't know. What did she play? Queen back, rook takes. Wait, where did her rook go? Wait. Sorry, you guys. I looked away from the game. What happened after rook b1? You think she pushed a pawn or something? I don't know. We can't see the G file or the H file either, but I don't think it matters at this point. But yeah, I don't even think she got a rook out. She should have at least taken one of the rooks for her queen, but she should resign, says Abyss Gazer. Well, I think that there's nothing wrong with playing on because, I mean, you're so close to the end anyways. There's always a chance for stalemate. And there's even still lessons to be learned. I mean, the opponent, maybe they don't know how to give checkmate. I don't know. I mean, I doubt it, but you never know. Am I commentating for any of the games tomorrow, Uncle Jesse? I actually don't think I am. Presumably she has other commentators for tomorrow. But I did commentate yesterday, and I'm commentating this game here. But I think I'm free tomorrow. I'm going to go get some food after this and watch the hockey game. The Blues are going to be playing against the Utah Mammoth at 7 Central Time, I believe. So that's in 2 hours. So Blues won yesterday. Honestly, you guys, chess is like 95% of my life. And then watching hockey is like the rest of it. Thank you, Rook Rabbit. Yeah, I can only guess which pawn it was. I'm going to guess it's the one that was hanging. And then I'm also going to guess that this guy moved his queen somewhere, which he's probably going after the G pawn. Something like this, if I had to imagine. Which doesn't make any sense because they could have maybe taken here and here to crush on the C file again. But that's another like lesson, I would say. Yeah, the pawn push, which tells me either she played an illegal move or the queen did move up. So probably he's going to take the G pawn next. Now, here's the lesson I want to give. When you're absolutely desperate and you see that your knight's pinned, yeah, he's going to take this G pawn. I was going to say that knowing that they've missed this tactic multiple times, you might as well just try like taking this pawn or something and just like let them, you know, have a chance. Maybe Joe plays NHL win. I would play the NHL video game, not the not the actual NHL. But okay. And also, yeah, here we need to make sure we at least get the rook out of it, right? No, that was definitely not the move. She did this, right? I'm presuming this is where we're at. So we'll see. Stream hockey NHL. I will stream it sometimes on Discord. Chess plus hockey equals me. It's true. Now, there's probably still a little bit of percentage left for other things. Like, I do like to ski. So, probably sometime next month, I'm going to be off to Denver to go skiing. So, that'll be fun. What's up, Tim Cannon? Good to see you. Yeah, we're not doing hot right now, unfortunately. We're doing quite poorly, to say the least. However, we might get a stalemate. So now we must watch the conclusion. So it looks like the queen is gone to g5. Let's see the stalemate, folks. Let's see it. There could be a quick mate in 2. Here, here, here. That'd be pretty cute. He starts with this. So there's some good news here in that she's got no legal pawn moves, which is like half the battle of getting a stalemate. The bad news is if she goes here, then that's just mate in 1 with either piece. So she has to go down to king a6. And then she's got some more pawn moves, but king a6, I mean, there's a forced mate, actually. If king up, that's mate. If king down, that's going to be mate. So it's at least a mate in 3. He's got to adjust his queen. It's okay. Alright, she's found the best move. King down to a6. And now we shall see if he can find the fastest mate. Okay, check. King b7, only legal move. Yeah, now there's too many pawn pushes. This wasn't the fastest mate, though. But yeah, he's bouncing. He knows he's cooking. It's not over, Jesse. Not yet. Not until I say so. Oh, sorry. I meant to go for this one. My bad. I flashed you guys with my full camera. It's crazy. Okay, king back. Let's see. Does he find rook a7 check? Yes, he does. Rook a7 check. And it's a mate in 2. So the king has 2 moves. If king c8, then there's mate in 1. So her best move is king b8. Which allows for queen b6, queen c7 mate. But yeah, if king c8, then queen f8's mate in 1. Perhaps Miles, maybe, but probably not. Okay, and now maybe he takes his pawn and blunders his rook, and then the game goes on, and we could stalemate again. Or maybe he finds mate in 2, and then the game ends. Ah, okay. So now she has 1 legal move, and then it's mate next. But maybe he'll give a check with the rook. Or maybe he'll just take the pawn with check. Really on the edge of our seats here to find out. Oh. She should play the last move, man. Unless he like talked her out of it, I don't know. Anyways, we have some post-game analysis here talking about c7. That was definitely a very important square in this game. But yeah, it's good to see the players are sharing some smiles. No harsh feelings here. But yeah, Moonzs, she did get her first win of the tournament today, earlier in round 3. So she is on the board. She's got a dub, and whenever you win in this Swiss style format tournament, you get paired against other players with the same number of points as you. So presumably our opponent has also won a game. And so it's tough. When you win a game, you're going to play against a tougher opponent. And that's exactly what we saw here in round 4. But it was still a very good game. She had multiple chances to break through and win. So it was very close.
32 minutes, 55 seconds.
We have some whispering happening. Miles, you're the cameraman. You're the guy to blame for half the board being cut off? You're 2.5 out of 4. That's pretty good. All right. Well, now that we don't have the stream, I will give you guys the full Joe cam. But let's see if she will do a player interview, if she's feeling up for it. I know we did one yesterday, and it took her some time to find a place. Also, if you guys are hearing these challenges coming in, I hope that's not you. How dare you guys send me challenges right now? Can't you see I'm busy? I'm commentating. That's always the best when you're commentating and people are like, hey, you want to play a game? She says that she should have taken the rook. So yeah, definitely knew that Moonzs would have seen that and considered it. But yeah, here we go. We've got our interview. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? That was such a fun game. I'm not even mad I lost. That was actually really fun.
It was so close.
I'm so mad I didn't take the rook. And it was because I stared at it for so long and I like was calculating a bunch of different stuff and I was like, okay. And I don't remember what piece I miscalculated it on, but that I miscalculated one piece and I was like, oh. And the second I moved it, I then realized and I was like, I should have taken the rook. Damn it.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of people tend to overcalculate, and then the longer they think about something, the more likely they'll blunder. So
Yeah.
it's okay. That happens. There were a lot of opportunities actually, and I feel like this is a super instructive game, and this is also really good base to like build off of, where you could
Yeah.
have found like an opportunity to have converted. So
Yep.
this is really helpful, and I think a great learning lesson of a game to see
Yeah,
all the different ways that
100.
you could have like
And I'm
converted.
really bad at like positional, and that was like I felt like I don't know if I'm right in thinking that was very positional, but it felt it. Like I feel like no matter where I moved my pieces, like I wasn't gonna make a lot of progress. Like I had to think so much about like, okay, what can I do to open the position without losing something, and what can I do to like improve a piece? Because for so long we had both had all of our pawns.
Yeah, that
Like,
was definitely, I think
yeah, that was hard.
your E5 pawn push was really good, and then E4 was also really good. And so you play this really well positionally. I would say that it really came down to your first major blunder, of course, is
Mhm.
hanging your rook,
Yeah.
which both of you missed for like 5 consecutive moves. So that was
And
kind
then
of
what's
funny.
even worse is the pin on my queen. I literally saw that and think, okay, I should move my queen because I don't want it to get pinned. And then I was like thinking about what this is my biggest struggle, I think, in any chess is I'll be thinking about something, I'm so focused, and then one thing will distract me even slightly, and then I'll forget everything I just thought about, and then I'll make the move that I said don't do that. That happened in Coach Champs.
Yeah,
Like I need to figure out how to not overthink, I think, on certain moves, but also like when I know, okay, this is the obvious move, do it, and not overthink it, because that's definitely, I think, with the queen getting pinned.
Yeah, I would say the queen getting pinned is like a really minor
Okay, I was
lesson.
really mad.
No, I would say that at
The
that
rook just,
point,
I was sad about the rook too, though. I was like, crap.
no, what's
No,
crazy though is you were doing so well that losing the rook didn't even matter. You were still
I,
better actually.
I'm mad that I found that freaking fork and I was so excited. And I don't even now, like, I'll have to look at the game again later and like think like, what was it that I thought that I had? Um, but I should have just taken the rook, lost the knight, and then I think that I could have pulled it together.
You were ahead of a pawn if you had done
I
that.
know, and
You
that's
were gonna be
exactly, and that's
better.
why I was like,
Yeah.
I know, and that's why I was like, okay, because after I did the one exchange, I was like, okay, I end up pawn up, like perfect, and then that's why originally, well, then I saw the knight fork, and I was like, hell yeah, but I don't know why I didn't take.
Well, because you saw the check and it's very tempting and it looks like
Yeah,
there's
and I
something
had,
there.
yeah, but in my brain, I thought, oh, I could do this and this, but I think that I forgot. Um, I don't remember. I calculated like, okay, if this happens, this happens, this happens, I can do this, and I'm fine. And I'd actually be able to move in there. But there was like, I don't remember now. There was one or two moves that he did, and I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I think maybe him moving his king. I don't, I didn't think of that. Like it was one of those things where I was like, I considered every other move possible except the one he did, and I was like, oh, crap, awesome.
Yeah, after a check like that, it's like you have to calculate their king moving out of the check and then just
Hmm.
sort of figuring out, okay, well, what's my follow-up? And when
Yeah.
they move the king, then okay, now your knight's hanging and the c file
Hmm.
is really dangerous. So
Yeah.
that's definitely a
I
key
should have just
moment.
taken the damn rook. I think that I thought, okay, okay, it was something. I'm trying to remember. I think I thought, okay, if they don't take, oh, it was this. It was if they whatever they do with the knight after I check, I can move my queen and threaten the rook. But I forgot in my calculation at that point because I was a couple moves ahead. I was like, I'll threaten the rook and he'll move the rook and then I can mate. Like I can checkmate because I had my pieces in the right place. But I forgot that there's a rook behind the rook, so I couldn't do that. And that's when I was like, oh, I fucked
Yeah,
up.
I think there's a couple of things wrong. Especially in that moment. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
no,
should have just taken that. Simple,
I
stupid.
think
Like,
you
come
play.
on.
No, no, it's definitely fine. Um, there were other opportunities. Like I would love to show you if you wanted to pull open.
Absolutely.
Um,
Wait, hang on. Let me. I hate how loud it is everywhere. And I don't have headphones. Hang on. Because I want to put. If I look at my phone, I put you on speaker, but I don't even know where to go. And the escalator's broken, so the elevators are a nightmare because everyone's going upstairs. Hang on. Actually, you know what? There's a room over here. I think I might be able to go in there. I don't know. I'm just gonna do it.
did you also want to turn your camera on or no?
Yeah, hang on. Let me see if I can sit in here.
It's okay if not.
It's really quiet in here. It's too quiet in there. I don't want to disrupt the peace. I'm gonna try and find a place. I know there's places for people to like sit, but I'm not explored much. Hang on.
Ooh, explore stream.
Right? Explore the hotel. All right, I'm just gonna go sit on the floor around the corner. There's so many people.
Yeah, behind you. I saw the
Excuse me. Excuse me. Ah. Okay, I think I can sit on the floor around the corner here. Yeah, actually, this is much better.
Also, something
Okay.
funny, after the camera got pushed and you adjusted
Oh my
it,
gosh,
we
that
no
was so
longer
funny.
saw the G or H files.
Oh crap. Because it wasn't even me that it was wait, hang on.
Oh,
There we
it's
go.
okay. We were able
Yeah,
to figure it out anyways.
I noticed
Hello.
it before I hello. And then like he was also so funny. Like that was like overall that was just such a fun game because he was funny and the game was fun. Like there was a lot of thinking needed. Which is what I like because I feel like I learn more from games that like I actually have to sit and stare at the board and think because it helps me like get better at calculating and everything like that. It is so loud. I'm literally so far away from everyone. Um, but yeah, that was a great game. But it was funny because someone walked into the camera and like tried to fix it but didn't notice it was crooked. And then the arbiter came over because she saw it and she's like trying to fix it and I got up and fixed it, but I didn't look at the screen. I was just like, ah.
It's okay. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure we had all the right moves anyways.
Okay.
So, okay, are
Yeah,
you
I know.
watching the game?
All right, let me get Twitch open. Give me a second. Let me find. There you go. Oh my god, my preview of my. All right, cool. All right, yeah, I got it.
So your opening was pretty great, actually. You
I
developed really
stressed in
solid.
that, so that's comforting.
No, you played this really well, and then bringing the rook to the center, and then pushing e5 was really smart. Just looking for those trades, and then not taking the bishop on a6, taking back on b7 was really smart. Queen f5 was a really strong move, just preventing his king from going to b1.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, yeah, your camera's frozen, but
Oh, I wonder if that's. Oh, I know why. There we go. The
okay.
little window was pushed to the side.
Okay, cool. So then e4 was the top engine move, actually, which surprised me, but you found that. And then you should have traded bishops. You should have taken on g3.
I thought about that for so long, but my fear was if I did that, I guess it really didn't matter because I had my, like the rooks were on the other side of my king, but I didn't want to do that because then like that whole file would be open. But I guess it doesn't matter either though because I could have just pushed h6. Huh? I
Well,
that was cute.
the file is fine because your queen can infiltrate and you're just attacking a lot of stuff.
I did think about that for so freaking long.
But okay, I think here's where you played h5. Did you play h5?
Mhm.
Okay, that's where we
I
couldn't see it anymore.
Oh yeah, because I think I was gonna. I had an idea and I don't remember what it was now.
Probably just keep pushing or something.
I think yeah.
But
I have an idea with the bishop and the knight, and then getting my knight up there, and then taking the pawns, which I did kind of. I got a
yeah.
couple of the pawns, but there was a point I just don't remember. Oh my god,
So
the fact that I'm so much better and the engine is making me sad.
don't worry about that. That's okay. Yeah, what was knight a5? What was your idea with this?
Ooh, okay, I wanted. Okay, so I was thinking going knight c4, but then I realized, oh, the knight's there. So then I was like, okay, how can I get rid of that knight? That was my initial plan.
Okay. So that makes sense. I would say that we shouldn't do that until we're like ready to go to c4.
Mm.
But this sort of weakens your you're allowing the queen more view within your
Yeah.
half of the board.
Yep.
So after this capture, it's very important to know that your knight is the only defender of the rook.
Yeah, and I know.
In fact, I would say it's important to recognize that after you even play e4, because after e4 is played, you should already be anticipating how to recapture this bishop if they allow for the trade. So that's another reason why you should take, is to not let them take, because now that
I
your
see,
rook
'cause they're
takes,
having the rook,
so
yeah.
there's a lot of things that had to go wrong here. First off is that you have to let them take you, which you could have taken them. Second thing is you had to put the knight here, which opens up for their queen. You'd have to take back with the rook, and now the last like fail-proof safe lock mechanism or whatever you want to call it is that your knight cannot move anymore because this rook is hanging otherwise. You have to see that the queen hits the rook. So once you move your knight, even at this point, I think they could have played knight takes h5 because your knight is overloaded, right? Because if you take their knight, then they take your rook.
Yeah.
So here they go back. And like already, I don't know if you were thinking about taking this pawn with the queen, because that would have been a blunder. Because
Which that one I did think about it, but then I was like, no. And that's why I was thinking, okay, get the knight in there, and then I either get the
even this
F
is
or
still fine for you.
the H pawn.
Yeah, so once you move the knight, now your rook is just hanging. So we need to even consider just playing like c6 again, or even bringing the knight back. You're fine. C6 is nice because it comes with the tempo.
I did also think of that, but I don't know why. I don't remember
No,
even
you
why I
guys
didn't do it.
you just forgot about the. I mean, you both missed it. It's not just you, right? Like you both. So right here, this is one move where the rook is hanging. He misses it. This is a second move where the rook is hanging. He misses it. This is a third move. The rook is hanging.
So
He
funny.
misses it. And right here is where he finally finds it.
I realized it.
But also here, I really want to show you. You had two pawns that you could have taken with the knight. You took the H pawn, but you should have taken the E pawn. Do you know why?
How would you feel to start with?
I get a rook.
It's more than that.
You know, the guy blew.
What?
What when knight takes here, what are we threatening?
Oh. Oh, that is so annoying.
So whenever we're given a decision, a choice, it's really important to weigh the pros and cons. So like
Yeah.
these pawns are not created equal. In fact,
I was so focused on just getting some pawns to get some stuff off the board.
I would argue that like you took here because you wanted to also take here, I think. But if you
Yep.
take here, you're threatening the rook, which by the way, the rook has no legal moves. It's trapped. But also you're threatening just to end the game with checkmate. Queen c2 is mate in 1. So even if they take the rook now, you just checkmate them, which is really pretty. But even without the added benefit of like what the knight attacks from here, just know that the E pawn is more valuable than the H pawn. The center pawns are more valuable, and it's because remember we want the knights in the center. We don't want the knight on the edge of the board because the knight on the edge, it only controls 3 squares. Whereas the knight here, this is an octopus knight. It controls 8 squares. So, and also the squares aren't even created equal either. The squares that the knight controls from here are much more valuable. They're attacking the rook. It's really directly influencing right in front of the king. So this was a really big opportunity for you. You just went the wrong. This is like a coin flip basically. But with this extra knowledge and information, you can make better decisions in the future.
Yeah, 100%.
So just recognizing that you have a choice is really important because then that will help you make a better choice of deciding, okay, let's weigh the pros and cons here. I could take this pawn or I could take this pawn. Which one's better? So that was a big moment. And then here is our last chance. We should have played c6. Even it's liking rook takes e3 is really strong, apparently. But okay. We at least get the knight out of it. So even like we don't even lose a whole rook. We just lose an exchange because you get the knight and you're still up 2 pawns. So this position is still very strong for you. Here,
That was what stinks too, is I felt like I was doing really well, and then like,
yeah, no, you're
later
still
I was
doing
like,
great.
oh, I made something went wrong.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it would be great if we didn't drop a whole rook, right?
Yeah.
But even with that being said, you're still better. Like imagine how well you have to be playing where you could just give up a whole rook for nothing and still be better, right? Like you're still playing super well. And even after losing the rook, you're still playing well. So here you bring the queen towards his king. He defends his pawn. And now here's where you had one solid move, rook f6, which defends your f pawn and threatens to just bring the rook to f2. So we're just putting a rook on a semi-open file, right? And we're making sure that we're not just dropping a pawn, we're giving him a pawn. Here's where I actually was really proud of your move. This was really creative. This was the move that I actually was really considering, b5. And it honestly is like kind of weakening your king side pawn or your king's pawn, your queen side pawns, but it also gives you a lot of really strong attacking chances with like rook a6 and also b4. So after b4 and they play rook to c1, this is actually a big blunder. You're winning here, but you have to find one of 2 moves.
Oh.
there's a really pretty checkmating idea with queen d3 check.
Okay, I thought about that for so long, but there was I literally saw D3, the king moves over. Oh, I see.
Do you see the mate now? It's a mate in
Oh,
2.
yeah, so is it, yep, and then king moves knight. Is it the knight?
Where does the knight go?
Check.
Knight b3 check. They have to
Yeah,
take, and then
and then you move to A6.
rook a6 is mate. This would have been a really pretty finish if you had found that.
Oh, that's so.
Um,
Rook. Yeah, what the heck?
rook's,
Well, that's
yeah,
so
the rook
annoying
mate.
that I didn't see that because I saw that check. I did not at the time see that follow up. I was like, well, what can I do next? Like, what's next?
Yeah, yeah, this is just part of like the mating pattern
Oh,
recognition
that would have
that
been so epic.
once you see it, it helps you. So basically, in any position, you want to just follow the checks, right? You have to be
Yeah.
aware of all the different checks you have at your disposal. And when he puts the rook off the d file, that gives you 1 check. If he puts the
Yep.
king in the corner, that gives you a 2nd check. And then when he takes with the pawn, this gives you the final check, which is the mate with the rook, which would have been a really pretty mate to find. But of course, they don't have to move the king. They would play rook c2 if they saw that mate. And then from here, you can play b3, right? Or you can play knight c4 or something. You could just continue your attack. So other than queen d3 check, you also could have pushed b3, which was a strong idea as well. So after b3, if
Yeah,
they
I
take,
also,
yeah, we
yeah,
enter.
I thought about that too. Well, I think that was my original goal was to push that pawn all the way. Um, and I don't remember why I started getting freaked out. I was like, oh, there's danger. I don't remember now what it was, but that was the reason I pushed it is because like, okay, I'm just gonna keep pushing this pawn and try and, yeah, that freaking, I looked at that check for so long and I now don't remember why I was like, oh, I can't do that.
Well, I think the major thing you should have been worried about after rook to c1 is that you really have to be aware that they're threatening to open the c file.
Yes.
And so pushing the pawn makes a lot of sense because you keep the c file closed. Also, check is always just there that we should be considering, but just allowing them to take on b4 is very dangerous because their queen is already attacking c7 and their rook is opposite your queen and c7. So you found this idea, I believe you played rook b6 and you wanted to just checkmate him on b2. The thing that we miscalculated was that they could just take on c7 immediately.
Yeah.
And this is a devastating check because if we go up, they're going to take a7 and
I
we're
saw
just
like
getting
putting my
mated,
yeah.
basically.
Yep.
If you go down, then they play, apparently, they just play rook e2, and I mean, you're in trouble. But yeah, we shouldn't have allowed the c file to open. They messed up, but they still played a good move. They defended your mate, and then yeah, they still, I don't know, they kept missing c7 check. But then you found, I mean, knight c4 is a great move. They only have one move that wins, and it's not really that clear. But they messed up, of course. And then here's where I think you already know you should have taken the rook.
Yeah.
And this is your last opportunity. But I think even before this, you should have considered these are 2 other winning moves before you got to that point.
I don't know why I didn't now.
It's okay.
I was so excited. I was like, oh, I get a rook back, but I don't know why. I was like, that's fine. Let's not take the rook. That makes sense.
You just saw things, right? Because you
Yeah.
got carried away
How goes?
and like checks are always enticing to play, right? But the cost of playing this check is an opportunity cost of not taking the rook because
Yeah.
once their king moves away, now we realize the danger that we're in is that the C file opens up. And I think while I was commentating, one comment I had about this position is that because your opponent had missed taking on C7 so many times, maybe it's just best to take like on E3 or something. That being said, you do get mated pretty instantly. So, maybe that's not necessarily good advice. But like, yeah, once we give up the knight though, and I mean the B file's opened, they're defending this, and this is about to open up. Like, there's nothing really, yeah, beyond this point that you could have done differently, I'd say.
I was
So.
just trying to keep it going.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I would say that overall, there's a lot to learn from this game. You played really well. It's like obviously the rook on e8 was a problem, right? That's one thing. Second thing was when you could have taken on e3 instead here. This is a really big opportunity for you. That's the second thing. And then the third thing is once you get b4 in, we don't want to open the c file. This is very dangerous for us. So finding the
What's crazy
check
is when
and
my queen
pushing.
was there, that knight move I missed, I was like, I spent for no like early in the game
Oh,
when I took the h pawn instead. I sat there for so long thinking all I need to do is control that square. How do I do that? And I don't know how I didn't see. Probably just take that pawn. Just take the pawn. Take the pawn.
yeah.
This is so annoying. I literally sat there for so long, like, okay, how can I control that square? Because my queen is ready to go.
That's okay. Well,
Yeah.
you mean, wait, taking which pawn?
When I had my knight on G4.
Oh, taking the e3 pawn?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like there's maybe 5 different moments in this game where you could have done something differently that would have been better, at least. But like, there's no one simple solution that's going to just make you a better player. It's all these little moments that add up that if you could just learn a little bit in different areas or tactics, that's going to make you a better player. Like, there's no one key solution to like fix everything. And so there's a lot of takeaways that you can learn from. And if you even just learn from one moment or make one takeaway, then you're still going to improve and be better than the next time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I think I was also telling people this is really good that you were able to even be in a position to have winning chances because that is in and of itself already a difficult thing to do. So that's definitely something that you can build off of and just figuring out a couple of these little details to convert is gonna go a long way.
And I'm excited for 2 more games tomorrow. Like,
Yes.
genuinely.
Yes.
Fun. And I won my game earlier, so that was exciting.
Yeah, I saw that you won, so that was awesome.
That was a good game.
So you have a win under your belt.
That's all I want. I was like, if I get one, I'm a happy camper.
Yes. Well, you'll hopefully get some more tomorrow. You have 2 more games, which are 2 more opportunities to not only win, but also to improve and to learn and to have fun. So let us know.
Oh, I just realized my camera's frozen.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, do you know who's commentating tomorrow?
So I think someone in the morning, but I don't have anyone in the evening.
Okay. So if anyone would like to volunteer, I could maybe figure it out.
Like the 4 p.m. one. I say evening. That's not really evening, but obviously it's evening now.
Okay. Well, let me know if you find anyone or not, and we will be anticipating more games tomorrow. And yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in and being supportive, and we hope to see you all tomorrow.
Yes, thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching. I appreciate it. Joe, thank you for the commentary.
Of course.
All right.
All right.
Wow.
I think we will find someone to raid.
Yes, wait, I can do it on mine since I'm on my phone now, because I know you said it didn't work yesterday. Hang on.
All good?
Let me see. Let's see. I think, let me see. I forgot how to do this. Stream manager.
It looks like, I mean, Jay is still playing. There's also Chess Sharks and Dina.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, let's read Dina if I
Okay.
can figure out how to do it. But she'll probably be playing for longer since she started later. How do I do this? I'm such an idiot. I never
Um,
use Discord on my phone, so I'm lost. I know it's
no.
like a little person with the plus button.
Oh, wait, to raid?
Yeah.
I just go to the Twitch app and then you can go into
Oh, I
your
forgot. I
stream's
can just type
chat
plus.
and do /raid.
Yeah, I forgot I can
I
do
think
that.
I'm gonna raid Jay again because I think she has a commentator.
I'm gonna do that too because I know how to type her username.
Dina's last name can trip some people up, I'm sure.
Yep. I think it worked. I don't know. Maybe.
Hey, we're getting a raid from Houseline. You guys are tuning in
Aw.
right at the end here, but shout out to Houseline. Good to see you,
Yes.
Matt. Hope you're doing well. We just watched Moonzs play her round 4 at the North Carolina Open. So I'll give a shout out to Moonzs as well. You guys should definitely go check her out because she has 2 more games tomorrow that she will be playing and streaming. So hopefully we'll see you guys then. But yeah, thanks so much, Matt.
Yes.
We'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
Yeah,
All right. Bye, everybody.
take care.
Bye.
Bye.